The CDT doesn't give up her miles easy. I mean, everything's tough. If it's not snow, it's lightning. If it's not lightning, it's heat. If it's not heat, it's something thorny sticking you. If it's not that, it's mud. So it's a tough trail. It's not for the faint of heart.
Still think this was a good idea?
I wanted to talk first about what's bringing us all to the table, which is offering people layers of protection.
This is Melissa. She works in public health, a field she's felt passionate about most of her life.
No, you're right. It's totally implementation.
But more recently, it's begun to feel a little, how should I say, claustrophobic for her. More like she's drowning in data than making a difference.
Maybe this isn't the way anymore.
Like her life's a little short on freedom.
Maybe it's this.
Creativity and
Creativity.
risk-taking.
Risk-taking!
Thanks for watching, everybody. What you're seeing here is a culmination of, and representation of, too, about 10 years of my life. A lot of blood, sweat, yes, a few tears, too.
Dicky is what you might call a struggling filmmaker.
That really is the house that we lived in LA. And this really is me splitting LA when our marriage fell apart.
He actually just completed his first feature film.
And that really is my ex-wife.
Sadly, the film hasn't gotten into a single festival, and well, lately he spends less time thinking about his next feature
And see, this gets to what I think a lot of people don't understand. I don't know, or don't get. I'm trying to present real life here. Real pain, hybrid filmmaking.
more time, well.
Who's even listening to this? Who am I talking to?
More time feeling jaded.
Dreams are free, man! Dreams are free!
Oh, I can't watch this.
This is the story of a couple of people
who attempt to reboot their lives
along the Continental Divide Trail.
blazing a new path forward.
They like to call
Crazy Possible.
What a difference a day makes.
Yeah.
The sun is shining, the smoke is gone.
Ho, ho, ho.
After a very stormy afternoon yesterday, wet and windy, thunder, lightning, and cold, very relieved today to see the sun shining.
Yeah, this is like the learning section.
Getting our feet wet and figuring things out.
It was really challenging, but for me the CDT was really liberating. I left a career after 16 years, so I went into a perspective of no matter how bad it is out here every day, I'm still not sitting in a boiler room atmosphere in a cubicle. It really helped me reconnect with myself and really find a balance in my life again.
It still feels pretty unreal. Like, it's hard to imagine that we really have 90 days before us.
Here we are, finally,
Yay.
at the northern terminus of the Continental Divide Trail.
We made it.
We're about to take that ship over there, that ferry, cross Waterton Lake, and begin a 33-mile backpack down the gullet of the section of the CDT within Glacier National Park.
Yay!
For me right now, the biggest challenges are just the technical skills that come from being able to be comfortable in really remote locations like this. Like, how do I avoid bear attacks? How do you only have 2 items of clothing that can do everything? How do I cook the food right?
Just to check it out.
Good morning. Welcome to another Jankster Tip video.
Hello.
This one on Backcountry Breakfast.
definitely challenging, like doing everything in a day. You know, hiking long distance, doing all the chores, setting up camp, cooking, and then still finding time somehow to round out the physical experience with a more reflective side. Here we are at beautiful Kootenai Lake. I think that's how it's said. And
well, here we are
on a 4-night trek down the Continental Divide Trail.
6.9 miles that we're gonna do about beautiful, magnificent lowercase pom pom.
It's gonna be our first real elevation test here on the CDT.
Bom, 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 bom. Hey!
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Definitely looks like it's like an alien landscape.
It's super smoky.
Very smoky today.
So much so that like my eyes are stinging a little, my nose is watering, running.
Yeah.
Nose runs, doesn't water. Eyes water.
I don't care. You care. Yeah.
Speaking of which, you want to just sum up a little bit about your experience yesterday?
I feel like I'm overheating some.
Yeah, yesterday sucked.
I'm not breathing out of my belly. I'm breathing out of my upper ribs, and that's bad.
And I just like did nothing but like could feel my heart just like pounding and pounding.
It sucks. It really sucks to be bad at something, Dicky.
I hated Dicky more than I've ever hated him because he's just scooting along with his little poles like do 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 do. I really love uphill. Uphill is great. It's probably just your attitude. You need an attitude readjustment. I was like stab, 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 Dicky. I stab him.
I think we're both pretty depleted, but we're warriors. We're crazy possible warriors. And this is just what you have to do. You have to suffer, and then you push forward.
But part of what I like about this trip is there's something really nice and pure about being able to choose your suffering. And so I chose that. I said I want to climb higher than I've ever climbed with a heavy pack. And I want to make that part of how I grow as a person.
I was thinking today about how we're living the dream. And the dream isn't like ease. Oh shit. It's experiencing like a hyper version of the ups and downs of life while also being able to take in beautiful sights and live the simpler version of life as well.
It's all about sort of this continual awakening. And that as humans we get this opportunity to awaken to the moment, to awaken to our lives. But we can choose not to also. We can choose to just sort of continue with what we're doing. And so for this trip really to be successful for Dicky and I is really we do have to awaken to ourselves.
Dicky and me.
God damn it, I want to stab you with my pole.
Need to awaken to proper grammar.
I don't give a about that. I'm also thinking about the idea that it takes like 1,000 hours to become a master of something. And so I think of this as like our journey towards being a master jangster. Or also really to like learn about how do we live outdoors? How do we live the types of lives that we want to live? I mean, like we have learned so much.
How do we learn to like take on very challenging adventures like the one we're on right now? Got sap all over my backpack. While also keeping a very kind of lighthearted spirit about it. Nothing seems to go into the backpack easily. I'm excited to see where we will get by just keeping going, you know, physically and mentally.
So, our 1,000 hours, hopefully with you.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Where's your camera?
It's right here shooting this shit.
Are you telling it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if anybody's listening.